What's up, guys? It's Lenny, your fan of Stuff to You, and today I wanted to make a video talking about wind-up hand loops and wanted to show you guys a deck profile that I have right here that you could test and try and tell me how good or bad it is or how consistent you think it is. Wind-ups have the problem of a lot of their combo pieces being dead in their hand, and that's something that's very difficult to play with. But I want to get into some things about this deck that are very, 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 very cool and very important. So the first thing is that this deck is actually pretty consistent. I didn't play this exact variant of deck. I played a less consistent variant of this consistent variant of the deck at a locals, and I went 2-2. But one of my games I played versus a Shiranui player who, where game one I didn't have my second Cobra on me. I didn't have the second Cobra, so I only had one Cobra, and I drew it game one with a Lone Fire and a Scorpio, so my hand was pretty dead. And then game two he opened. Game two I didn't open the combo, but I opened like some setup-y stuff, and then or I think he hand trapped me. I'm not sure. One of the things happened where like I couldn't go for the full combo, and then he gold sarked into Necroface, and then that Necroface pulled a second Necroface, and then it was just a giant slugfest the whole time of us just banishing each other's stuff because he drew into three of a Shiranui trap card, and he had deep dimensional fissure on board, so all my shit was getting banished. That one was rough. My two games I won, I hand looped both players. I played versus I hand looped both players twice because I went 2-1 in both of the games. Because going second versus decks is a lot harder with this deck than going first. I played versus the deck that was like they summoned that dude who makes you can't activate monster effects, and then they set 5 behind it. Yeah, so I hand looped him game 1. Game 2, he's normal summoned the dude who doesn't let you play, and then he set 5 behind it, so I just scooped to that. I was like, there's no way I'm fucking getting over this unless I top deck Dark Hole, which I was running. I might find space for Dark Hole in this deck. There's a few cards I gotta find space for in this deck so far. This is just kind of like just an engine type thing. Not an engine, but this is kind of just like an opening thing, right? So I just gave it to that. In game 3, he scooped. He's like, I don't want to deal with it. He's like, do you have hand loop? I'm like, yeah, I do. And he's like, okay, I don't want to deal. And I played versus like some crazy fucking fucking Zodiac FAs that like search like crazy or something. They like barrage, pop field spells, search, get fucking things out on the board, synchro, dump things, field spells, ancient fairy popped it. Like it was crazy. And that one, I won game 1 because I hand looped. Game 2, it was close, but she had game, and then game 3 I just hand looped. I fucking opened nuts. I didn't open super nuts, but I had hand loop and a monster reborn. So I just hand looped, and then I fucking brought back out firewall with 3 bounces, and was like, good luck, have fun. It was actually fucking dirty. Yeah, and then the last game actually the last game I was gonna hand loop, but he hand trapped my Scorpio, which killed my hand, and then the turn after that, the game after that, I did not open hand loop. No, sorry. Game 1, he won the dice roll, and he started off. He was playing Element Sabers, and he summoned the Dark dude, and I didn't have an out to the Dark guy, so he just kept setting everything I had and running over it. And then game 2, he opened 3 Effect Veilers. Fuck, that was sad. Anyways, that was like kind of a rough experience, but it was really telling because it showed that this deck has like an insane amount of potential, but this deck is also like tempting the fucking fates of God, because not only were my opponents having the worst time ever when I was hand looping them, but I was having a bad time watching them have a bad time hand looping them. I would be like, so buy to another card in your hand, buy to another card, you're not playing the game. We're going to take 5 minutes, so you can't play the game. And they're just there like, that was like sad look on their face. They're like angry look, like, God damn, dude. This is a deck that I'm really happy I created, and really happy that like, oh, we brought windups back. But it's a deck where it's like, please don't become meta. Please never become meta ever again. It's so garbage to play versus hand loops if you don't have the hand traps, or if they have the outs to your answers. It's so not fun. Anyways, let's get on with the deck. Okay, so we have one Veiler. It serves a lot of purposes. Ferret pulls out level 1s, and because we're running 2 bats, 3 bats is too much, so I cut one of the bats for a Veiler. The Veiler is a hand trap to stop your opponent's plays. It's a level 1 for Ferret if you draw a bat, and on top of that, it's also, if you draw a bat, If you draw bats and you can't even shuffle them back. And on top of that, it also works with Brilliant Fusion. It's something to dump. Then we have triple Lone Fire, Trick Clown, Cobras, and Scorpios. These cards let you combo like crazy because they're your Brilliant Fusion engine. They get you Saryuja, which gives you all the space on the board. Gives you everything pretty much. Insanely strong card. One Round Clouder, because Round Clouder is a really cool tech card to run in that gives you some cool stuff. You can cut him because we have the other light target. You could cut him for any hand trap or literally anything. This is like one of the cuttable cards. Then we have triple Rescue Ferret, because Rescue Ferret plus Lone Fire is hand loop, and we want to be hand looping as much as possible. We have double Summoner Monk, because Summoner Monk lets you do some crazy, crazy shit with Allure of Darkness, and it does some crazy, crazy shit with... it does crazy shit with Allure of Darkness, and does crazy shit with Ferret and Magician. If you have Shark, a Spell, and Monk, that's like having Magician Shark. If you have Lone Fire, a Spell, and Monk, it's like having Lone Fire Ferret. It's just it's options for your hand loop. On top of that, it's fodder to dump for these guys. It's every monster's a fodder to dump for these guys, which is nice. And then it's a lure fodder. You could just lure it away if you don't have a good hand. Double Wind Up Bat, because this card is horrible to draw in your hand and you don't want it in your hand. So having it on the board is the only time it's good. So you just have it in your deck as like a, if I draw it, fuck. But if I don't, yeah, I can combo with it. Doesn't really do much for combos. It's only really good with Ferret, and maybe it's kind of good with Machine Dupe, but the times where Machine Dupe is good is never good helpful enough. I think. Or I might test it a bit more. Maybe I'll run a third bat or something, try Machine Dupe. I tried some Machine Dupe stuff, and it was like, I have Hand Loop anyways if I have Machine Dupe in my hand, so this is just overkill. But if I don't have Machine Dupe in my hand, the bats in my hand are fucking dead. So that kind of sucked. Then we have a triple Wind Up Hunter, because Wind Up Hunter is the hand looping card. Double Magician, because Magician is the card to do everything with. Triple Rat, because Rat reborns everything. Shark is insane. And one Warrior, because we can always just put the Warrior back in our deck with Saryuja if we don't want it. And we're only running one Invoker, so one Warrior is it. And then the one card we never want to draw ever in our deck is Garnet. I was actually thinking of running Magical Mallet in this deck, just so that if we draw Garnet and Mallet, we could put Garnet back and win the game anyways. Kind of sad life. Then we have triple Lure of Darkness, because Lure of Darkness lets you... yeah, Lure of Darkness just lets you fucking cycle through everything. You have a lot of Darks in the deck that are okay to banish. Not only that, you have a lot of... not only do you have a lot of Darks in the deck that you're okay to banish, but all the non-Darks in your deck, if you open a Lure plus non-Darks, you probably have a combo. Like, look, all the non-Darks in the deck are the combo. Ferret, Lone Fire, Magician, Shark, and Rat, I guess. These are like combo. These are like open combo openers. Like, this is what you want to open. So, yeah, it's fine. One Brilliant Fusion, because we want to search it. We don't want to draw it. We don't care about Brilliant Fusing. We only care about Brilliant Fusing off of Scorpio. One Reborn, because it auto-wins sometimes. It resets your Firewall Dragon, so you get like 2 more bounces. If you're really stuck on board space, it could like reset a Hunter or a Rat, so you get 1 more bounce or something, or you get one other thing. It could bring back one of your extra deck cards that are really strong. I don't know, it gives you plays. Soul Charge, because Soul Charge is auto-win. Not only that, but it's your comeback play. If they somehow get over your stuff, or if they go first and they stop your plays, or if you don't have hand loop and you just have to set up a board, Soul Charge is how you come back and hand loop them on the second turn and fucking remove their board. Soul Charge is a very important card. What's really good is that because on the turn 1, if you go first and you don't have hand loop, but you still do deck thinnage, you deck through like at least like a quarter of your deck. There's a good chance that you can get into Soul Charge. You're going to draw into at least some form of good shit. Then we have triple Factory. I don't actually like Factory, but I'm running it just because. I'm thinking of actually cutting some factories for some other stuff, like for Called by the Graves and shit. Just because Factory is so slow, we're looking for as strong as possible of opening play, not of secondary play, not of like over time. We're looking for that one big explosive play. At least my variant of the deck is trying to do that. So I don't even think I don't even like Factory too much, but I'm going to keep running it and keep testing it, and then maybe I'll cut it later and test it. Now we go to the extra deck, which everything is super self-explanatory. Seraphinite, we're running Brilliant. Dweller's an out to fucking graveyard decks. Invoker, it lets you combo extend. Pappy lets you combo extend. Firewall Dragon, it lets you do crazy, crazy shit. This is just a link 3 that points left and right. It could point down, up, left, right. Fuck, as long as it points left and right and it's kind of strong. I was thinking of running the other dude. There's another link 3. I'm actually going to look him up right now because it's kind of important. There's another Link 3 that's like really old, and I think he might actually be pretty strong. Yeah, Trigate Wizard. So battle damage is doubled if he's co-linked once. 2 co-links, you can banish a card on the field. 3 co-links, you can negate something and banish it. So like, Trigate Wizard is something that you can actually get in this deck with 2 co-links pretty easily. So I was thinking of maybe running him instead of the Gaia Saber if you have like a pretty mediocre hand or something. Or if like you hand loop, but you know you can't go for 5 cards, so you go for Trigate Wizard off the Firewall or something, or off of something, just so you get more things to do. 2 monsters accept tokens. It's not a lot of. It's not that good. It's not that strong. It's not that hard to get up. Anyways, yeah. So I just have him here just because I was like, fuck it. I don't even, honestly, in real life, I run fucking Decode Talker. He's even worse because Decode Talker doesn't actually help you with any of these things. Decode Talker doesn't actually extend your combos. It doesn't help you with your combo extensions. It doesn't even help you in game or anything. So I was doing well with like a really garbage Link 3. So, you know, this could be really almost anything as long as it's a Link 3. We have 1 Nightmare Goblin because Nightmare Goblin is necessary for the Magician Shark hand loop. On top of that, it also gives you an extra normal summon when you don't open Brilliant Fusion and you have some other janky stuff like multiple Shark plus non-Magician cards, so you could do other plays. Then we have Nightmare, and it points left and right, so it's another left and right pointer that's good. Before we didn't have any good left to right pointers, we only had Proxy Dragon. Now we have Nightmare Goblin and Proxy Dragon. Plus this card can cycle a card, which is nice. Then we have 1 Nightmare Griffin, because Nightmare Griffin is a good end game card. You finish your board, you go for Nightmare Griffin, and your opponent can't play with whatever reason, some of the ending resources you have. Nightmare Unicorn, this is just an out to some cards. If your opponent goes first and they have a really strong card that you can't really out normally, you could just shuffle it back, or, you know, it's still a 22 attacker or whatever. The point is that Nightmare Unicorn just outs some cards that are tough to get over. Triple Proxy Dragon, because Proxy Dragon is our combo. It helps us with our combos. Pointing left and right is important. Saryuja, because Saryuja is the main combo card. 1 up and down pointer, because it's important to have 1 up and down pointer for when you don't have the Saryuja or the Gaia Saber or something to point downwards to the center zone, because you need something to be able to put at the top and then something on the left or right to put the Firewall Dragon here so it double triggers, right? So you need at least 1 Space Insulator in the deck. Plus it's cool because he comes back and he outs any monster that's 2k or less because he makes at that point that he points to. It sucks. You don't want to keep Space Insulator on your end boards unless he's just randomly spread about there. But typically there's better shit to go for anyways. Because he fucking makes your monsters lose attack. So you lose attack with this guy, which kind of sucks. And then 1 Zen Maintenance, because Zen Maintenance is the combo card. He lets you do all your combo shenanigans. He does crazy, crazy shit. I was thinking of maybe running 2 Zen Maintenance, but typically 1 Zen Maintenance is more than enough. For your opening combos. For your opening combo, you can only do 1 Zen Maintenance because they're both hard ones per turn effect. They're all hard ones per turn effects. But Zen Maintenance is pretty good. Zen Maintenance is really good, but at 2 he's pretty good because at 2 it's like you have to cut something else and you'd rather have other shit in the extra deck anyways. And Zen Maintenance, I guess all he does is like at 2 it helps you with the slower matchups and the matchups that like your opponent's going to be stalling you out where you can't hand loop. So it's kind of important. That's one of the troubles I've had with this deck, is building this deck so that if I can't hand loop my opponent and I can still play, what am I going to be doing, right? That's something that I've been trying to think about what I could do to this deck. That's why I started running some of the Nightmare engines, like the Unicorn and stuff. I was testing some other stuff. I was thinking of running Twin Twisters to out back row and Called by the Graves, which I was thinking of maybe cutting an Allure and some wind up factories, because again, I don't like factory, but you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, so that's like the main thing that I was trying to get across, is that this deck is insanely strong. It has really, really consistent hand loops because there's many ways to hand loop your opponent, and they don't require a lot of cards in the deck, and the deck has a lot of draw. As long as you don't draw Garnet, or even if you draw Garnet but you have Magician Shark, you're still good for hand looping. It's actually insane what type of shit that this deck could do. A lot of opening hands are always live, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Something that really, really triggered me, I think I spoke about this at the start of the video, but I'm going to repeat it again anyways, is that hand looping is really unfun to play versus, and really unfun to play for fucking like 5 hours straight. It's strong, but it's unfun to play versus. So if you're having just fun or whatever, don't play a deck like this. Don't, because I played this and I've never seen the sadness of somebody of 1,000 souls around me ever in my life before. And I witnessed that. It was pretty sad. And you know what? When I opened and when I bricked, they would be happy, because everybody would be happy because they don't want to get hand looped. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to try this deck out, see what you can do. Remember to comment about what you want next, what you guys like, because I will make videos about what you guys comment about. No matter what, I'll try my best to make them as quickly as possible. So thank you guys for watching. I have a throwback video. Again, I'm probably repeating everything from the start of the video. It's been 15 minutes of me talking about a deck, so I probably forgot everything. But I'm going to be making a throwback video to when Firewall Dragon was at 3. I had a bunch of replays I wanted to show you guys about my old deck. And in those replays, there's actually some insanely crazy shit I did. So I just wanted to show you guys that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.